Hello children, excuse me. Good morning to you all. Hope you have followed yesterday's teaching. It was all about Jallianwala Bagh massacre and non-cooperation movement. You know why Jallianwala Bagh massacre took place? I told you, I will tell you the names. One act was introduced by the British. It was Rowlatt Act. According to Rowlatt Act, they could arrest any Indian if they find them doubtful about they were speaking about the freedom movement, or they suspect them as the culprits, I can say, in their view, not in our Indians' view. So in that context, they arrested two Indian freedom fighters. I told I would tell you their names. It was Badruddin Tayyabji and second Dr. Satyapal. Understand? This without any interrogation. Suddenly they came and arrested them. This was very wrong thing they have done. That's why people were very angry or aggressive about British. So they decided to have one common meeting in a place called Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. It took place on 13th April 1919. This was the day of Baisakhi festival. In the name of festival, they wanted to talk about what to be done to suppress this British people. So this was somehow, this message was received by British officer of Punjab province. His name was General O'Dwyer. Lieutenant Governor he was. Then what did he do? He closed the small entrance. Only one entrance it had, that park, Jallianwala Bagh. Closed it, and he asked his troop, soldiers, to fire at the people in the Jallianwala Bagh. So nearly 20,000 people assembled there, gathered there. So suddenly they were attacking them, firing on them. Means it was a shocking thing. They were unable to think where to go and what to go. They did not have time for that also, to escape. When they tried, the only entrance was closed. That's how thousands of people died and thousands of people were injured. Some fell in the well also. That time, even the great freedom fighter Bhagat Singh, who was some 7 to 8 years old, he was also there. So he took an oath that day, putting the soil of the Jallianwala Bagh on his forehead, and he took an oath that I am going to fight for the freedom of my country. I am going to quit away the British. Understand? So this was not liked by many Indians. That time Gandhiji was organizing the movements, strikes. He did not like to have any aggressive action. He wanted to go smoothly, peacefully. So he used non-violence and satyagraha. Satya means truth. Insistence upon truth. So he started non-cooperation movement in 1920. And as a part of it, he insisted the Indians not to do anything which is cruel. But people were very angry with this action of the Britishers. So, in the place called Chauri Chaura in Uttar Pradesh, some agitators, they attacked the police station and set it on fire. And 20 police people they killed. This was a cruel action which was not liked by Gandhiji. His feelings were hurt. So he withdrew this non-cooperation movement. Then On November 8th, 1927, the British formed one commission, organization I can call, headed by Sir John Simon, and sent him to India with his group. Understand? He was the chairperson or president of this commission. So it is known as Simon Commission. He came along with his team members to India to study. Why did he come? He came with his team members to study about the situations in India. And he was a new person. He never had been to India. He never had visited India. That's why he was new to India. He did not know anything about India. So it was not accepted by the Indians, because to know about India, at least one or two members in the commission should be the Indians. But they did not appoint any Indians as the members of this commission. And this was not liked by the Indians. That's why they did not accept his proposals. He did not want to talk to him at all. Wherever he went in India, whichever places he visited in India, he was welcomed by the people with a black flag. Black flag is a symbol of protest. Okay, means opposing. Black flag indicates opposition. So everywhere, wherever he went, he was welcomed with a black flag and with the slogan, "Simon, go back." Simon, go back. They were shouting, "Simon, go back." In Hindi, it is called "Chale Jao Chalwali." Chale Jao Chalwali. Chalwali means strike. So, he could not withstand here in front of the Indians. They were very aggressive. Understand? And somewhere it is going on, and they formed the commission on November 8th, 1927. But Simon with his other committee members, he visited India in 1928. So Simon Commission visited India in 1928. It was not received by the Indians positively, because there were no Indians or there were no Indian members in this commission to study about, to tell about the prevailing the situation, position of the Indians. That's why they did not accept. Meanwhile, in 1929, on 8th April, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev Rajguru and Khudiram Bose, they bombarded on Central Assembly, which is completely of British office people. No Indians were there. And even if Indians were there, they were just like the slaves to them. Understand? And after throwing the bomb, they did not even try to go away from there. Bharat Mata Ki Jai, they said, and threw the bombs on the Central Assembly. And they did not feel afraid of the British. They were just standing there and facing them bravely. But they were arrested by the British. Understand? And Sukhdev, Rajguru and Bhagat Singh were hanged to death. Understood? So, And after these incidents, so many other Indians joined this freedom movement. Understand? After this Simon Cook Commission, unsuccessful efforts of Simon Commission and bombarding of by the Bhagat Singh team on Central Assembly, so many people in India became aware of the importance of freedom for them. So many people joined this freedom movement. Means they joined Congress party, which was our first national political party. Okay. Among them, the important ones are Subhash Chandra Bose, Sardar Patel, Rajendra Prasad, Maulana Azad, Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajgopalachari, Chittaranjan Das, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, Shaukat Ali, etc. In 1928, Vallabhbhai Patel led the farmers' movement in Bardoli and he died in the attack by the British. Then on 30th January 1929 at Lahore, now it is in Pakistan, on the bank of Ravi River, the Congress session was held. Every year they were selecting different places. Once in a year they had a meeting, no session. First meeting was held at Mumbai. Same way, everywhere they selected different places. And in 1929, it was Lahore. That time Pakistan was not a separate country. It was in India. It was the part of India. So at Lahore they had a session on 30th January 1929. And there they decided that they will not take any rest until they attain Purna Swaraj. Until they attain Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj means complete freedom. Complete freedom. Purna means complete, Swaraj means freedom. So in this session, it was attended by a very large number of delegates. And in this meeting, it was decided that they will not rest until they attain freedom for India. Understand? And Gandhiji, after this meeting, Gandhiji started civil disobedience movement in 1930. Understand? Civil disobedience. You know the meaning of disobedience? Not obeying. Civil disobedience movement. It was led by Gandhiji, means it was started by Gandhiji in 1930. He started this movement by breaking the salt law. How he started? He started this by breaking the salt law. Last year we had a lesson in English. Understand, you had one lesson in English about Gandhiji. We did the project also, Dandi March. Yes or no? Huh? It is a part of that, children. So, breaking the salt law. What is the salt law? See, salt is very much available in the nature freely. Our country has a very long sea coast. Sea water is very salty. So, because of evaporation of this sea water, we can prepare salt without spending anything much. But To use this salt also, British people laid the tax on Indians. This was not liked by Gandhiji. It is with the things which are freely available. Why should we pay money for it? Understand? By evaporating seawater, we can collect the salt. For that, we don't need to pay any tax. So, from Sabarmati Ashram, he started to the sea coast in the place called Dandi. So it is called Dandi March. March means walk. His walk from Sabarmati Ashram in Gujarat. From there he reached Dandi in Gujarat on the sea coast. In the way, he walked all the way. You may ask, why didn't he use any vehicle? Last year in the lesson, one girl asked this question to her father. Why didn't he go? Because what was his opinion? If he goes by walk, many other people can see him and they can know about the situation and they can join him. And it proved to be truth. In the way, many people joined him, many gents and ladies joined him. And when he reached Dandi, he broke the salt law and prepared own salt there. So it is called Dandi March. It was started in 1930. It was the part of civil disobedience movement, not obeying the government. Okay. Then, soon this movement spread to other fields also. Understand? Many people became aware of it. The Indians who were appointed in the government offices of the British, they resigned the jobs. Students left the colleges. Understand? Number of women also in India, women never used to come out of the house. But many Indian women came out of the house without caring about what would happen and all. And they gave away all their ornaments and everything for the sake of the motherland too. They need money not to get any work to be done. Everything they sacrificed for the sake of motherland. Understand? So the British tried their level best to suppress this movement, but it was not possible for them. Understand? Then they arrested many people and killed many people and they jailed many people. Even then also, everywhere, every part of the country, this freedom movement spread like anything. In the west, northwest, Abdul Ghaffar Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan antaru. Abdul Ghaffar Khan led the movement. And in northeast, Queen Gaidan Liu, her name, Queen Gaidan Liu. Gaidan Liu, Queen Gaidan Liu of Nagaland. She is from Nagaland. And in the south, C. Rajgopalachari. C. Rajgopalachari. Led the freedom movement. So north, northeast, northwest, south, everywhere the people started agitating the British. So in the northwest, Abdul Ghaffar Khan, we call him Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He was known as the Frontier Gandhi. It was a nickname given to him. Northeast, Queen Gaidan Liu of Nagaland. She led the movement. And in the South Sea, Rajgopalachari led the movement. So, people boycotted the British goods. Under this movement, people boycotted the British goods. All the people started using Indian goods, which is happening now once again, children. Do you remember? Our Indians boycotted all China goods. We are trying to use mostly only Indian goods. Even they are not ready to use mobile phones also. They are ready to use other countries but not the Chinese. Okay, so many Chinese apps were also cancelled. Is it not? Same thing. Why? Because they were unfair with the world. They were not doing any fair thing. See, Corona, how much people are suffering throughout the world. It is all because of them. That's why, to show our anger, to agitate against them, people of India started boycotting their goods. Same thing happened during the British rule. Under civil disobedience movement, people boycotted the British goods and they started using their Indian goods. So, now British understood, people will not keep quiet. We have to do something. Just eye-washing thing. So in 1935, they made some reforms. And they sent some delegate from Great Britain, England. And according to him, Indians were free to contest the elections and form their own government. But that government will be under the guidance of British. This was also not liked by the people. Some of the provinces contested elections and they elected some political leaders to rule their parts. But it was not a completely successful thing. But wherever these elections held, and Congress ministers, only political party in those days was Indian National Congress. Though the Indian National Congress ministers did very good job for the places where they were elected. Meanwhile, in 1939, Second World War broke out. In 1939 to 1945, World War II broke out. And they forced the Indians, British forced the Indians to help them in the war. Though they did not like, they had to help them. They showed the greed that after the war is over, they would think of giving freedom to us. But it was not done at all. So, many revolutionaries also took part in the freedom struggle. Their names are Bhagat Singh, Ram Prasad Bismil, Rajguru Sukhdev, Chandrasekhar Azad, Sitarama Raju, Alluri Sitarama Raju, and Ashfaqullah. They all are revolutionaries, children. But they were just put to death by the brutally, very, very cruelly by the British. Then, staying outside, Subhash Chandra Bose formed INA. So, this war continued till 1945, creating lot of pandemic like now Corona. So much loss, but it was of no use. India lost all the hopes of getting freedom from the British. Because after this, they did not say a word about the freedom. Then, Subhash Chandra Bose, staying outside, he formed an army to fight the British from outside. His army was named as INA, Indian National Army, or Azad Hind Fauj. Azad Hind Fauj. From India, he was put in a jail. From that jail, he escaped to Afghanistan, then Germany. In Germany, taking the Indian prisoners, he formed the troop army and fought for the freedom of our country. He was also like an extremist person, but he was also not successful. He was, as some people say, in a plane crash he died, but it is a mystery still. It is not clearly known by anybody that how he was died, whether the British killed him or really he, while escaping from the British, he in plane crash he died, God knows. But they say he died in plane crash. And he gave the slogan Jai Hind, which we every time tell this, Jai Hind. It was the slogan given by Subhash Chandra Bose. One more, Delhi Chalo. In Delhi means Delhi. Delhi Chalo, because government was in Delhi, that's why. To fight for our rights. Then what happened? Indians became more and more serious regarding the freedom movement after Second World War, I can say. In 1942 only, they came to know fishy about the British activities. So in 1942, Gandhiji started Quit India movement. Quit India movement. He started Quit India movement in 1942. Many people took part. People became now wild. They did not keep quiet because in 1935 whatever rules were formed for contesting the elections, they were not completely in favor of the Indians to get freedom. Just eye-washing it was. So it was not like it. But one big problem stood before the Indians. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, these British people, to cook their fish, they created religious feelings among the Indians. Religious clashes, I can say. Muslims separate, Hindus separate, like that. With that nonsense note, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a great freedom fighter actually. He demanded a separate country for the Muslims. And our great Mahatma Gandhi ji, he accepted this proposal and he got ready to give separate country for the Muslims called Pakistan. That's how Pakistan was formed. That's why the Independence Day of Pakistan and India both are on the same day. Because on the same day Pakistan was also formed. Now, during this Quit India movement, Gandhiji gave a slogan, do or die, karo ya maro. Either we have to struggle for the freedom of our country or we die while doing it. This is called karo ya maro or do or die movement. So anyhow, now British understood that it is not possible to suppress the Indians now. So they freed our country on 15th of August 1947 at midnight. 14th August midnight after 12 o'clock. So we celebrate Independence Day on 15th August. Understand? So on that day itself our government was formed. Babu Rajendra Prasad became the first president of our country and Jawaharlal Nehru became the first prime minister of our country, and there ends the rule of the kings. Now people's government started. Democratic government started in India. People started electing their delegates and for forming the government. That is how at last, because of lot of struggle, because of the sacrifices of thousands, lakhs of people, at last India was able to get freedom for the country. Understand, that is how the freedom or independence which we celebrate or which we enjoy is not a very simple thing, children. It is a fruit of very, very, very hard work of lakhs of people, lakhs of ancestors, our forefathers. Selflessly they worked. They did not think anything about their lives, their property, anything. Just in front of them the target of freedom was there, and they tried, and at last they attained the freedom for all of us. So we have to safeguard our freedom, and we must use freedom for good cause. Anyway, we are free, we can do anything we like, not like that. So think over it now, how hard it was for the Indians to get this freedom for us. That's why we have to respect their efforts and use freedom properly. That's it, children. I hope you understood the lesson. So here we ended 2 lessons teaching. Notes part next week I will give. From Tuesday onwards I am going to take English class and social studies class for 4th class. After I complete their classes, again I will come back to you. There I give second lesson, 16th lesson, new terms and question answers, everything. After completing them, 17th lesson I will give. So notes part we will have next week. After, it may be 10 days also. After completing the lessons for 4th class, we will start. Till then, read the lessons, underline the hard words, underline important points in the lesson, and dates and events, you make a list. This is a small work you keep on doing. Reading lesson 2-3 times, underline the years and events, note down them in your notebook. That's all you are going to do. So let us take a leave for this week. Thank you.